Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not frozen this time. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Welcome to Motorsports 360. We're back in your life for another episode. I'm Marty. Hope you all are having a great day so far. But anyway,
Perfect timing.
what a wild weekend of speed weeks we had. Holy mackerel. We'll be talking about all the races we had this weekend, trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. But first, let's meet the crew. We got a six-man team today. We first have Michael.
Lag. All right. Went to my first
Yep.
Daytona 500. It was awesome. I had a great time.
Yes,
yeah.
I let him speak for himself. We've got the guy with his new AirPods, Kelvin LaPierre. We've got finally back with us, Jake Rogers.
As Marty.
We've got someone that was probably sad about what happened on lap 102, Cody Smart.
Wait, what happened on lap 102? Well,
Greg
never mind.
Keselowski wrecked.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's absent. And then we've got the birthday boy today, Justin Zeidel.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
We can't sing the birthday song because it's copyrighted.
No, the copyright's
So-
removed.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. We can sing it now.
but I don't want to sing it anyway.
All right, fine, whatever. Dilly dilly.
If we're being honest here, does anyone really want to hear us sing?
Probably not.
They may want to hear Kelvin and I sing if we have a karaoke machine.
Marty had to hear me sing earlier. It wasn't too pretty.
Okay, let's see. Is there anyone in chat? No, just my comment. Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's get on to the show. Let's talk about the Daytona 500. Man, I'm just finishing up Radioactive right now. Right now, Martin Truex Jr. is the mad guy right now at the moment. I believe he's getting Radio Sweetheart today. But anyway, it all started with the big problem started on lap 52. Lap 50, I'd say. Kyle Busch cut a tire down, and around he went collecting Jamie McMurray in the mess up. And then, on the final lap of stage one, we had our first big accident of the day. Ryan Blaney trying to look to the inside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse puts a big block. Stenhouse gets forced up the high side, and man, what a save he made. And then during the entire checking up, Eric Jones got loose, and he went around. He collected these following drivers as well. He collected Daniel Suarez, William Byron, Ty Dillon, Jimmy Johnson. Those were the most notables in the accident. Then lap 102, we had a wreck when drivers just trying to block Brad Keselowski got into Chase Elliott, set him head on, a huge lick for the number 9 into the outside wall in turn 3. This wreck collected Danica Patrick. Kevin Harvick barely. No, it actually did collect him. Brad Keselowski and Casey Kane. Those are the notable ones. And then lap 120, the stage concluded. Your top 10 for that, by the way. Ryan Blaney took the win, followed by Paul Menard, Joey Logano, Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell, Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, Trevor Bayne, Austin Dillon, and Denny Hamlin. We had no cautions until lap 1, until we had like about 11 to go. William Byron spun in turn 4, which led to a restart, and man, the lead changed many times between these drivers. Besides Ryan Blaney, we had Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola, Denny Hamlin in the battle. We even had drivers contending for the win in the top 5, like Matt DiBenedetto and Brendan Gaughan. Unfortunately, with 2 laps to go, a wreck broke out in turn 1. Ryan Blaney got into Kurt Busch, sent him spinning. Those 2 drivers were involved. Also involved were Truex, DiBenedetto, Stenhouse, Gaughan, Bowman, Newman, Logano, Jeffrey Earnhardt, and Allmendinger. Those are the most notables. And then, oh man, what a great finish we had. Eric Almirola is leading at the white flag, and then in turn 3, he's trying to block Austin Dillon. And what happens? Almirola got turned into the wall in turn 3 head on. A very tough break for those guys. At the end of the day, though, Austin Dillon only needed to lead one lap, and that was the most important lap, the final lap presented by Credit One Bank, to win the Daytona 500. We went 17.5 miles past the scheduled distance at 7 laps. Austin Dillon, on behalf of Motorsports 360, congratulations. However, he deserves a standing ovation for finishing in second place. Bubba Wallace, congratulations to you.
All right.
All right, Bubba, yeah, you deserve that. The rest of you guys, you don't even deserve a round of applause, except for who knows. You may get one. Third was Denny Hamlin. Fourth, Joey Logano. Fifth, Chris Buescher. Paul Menard 6th, Ryan Blaney 7th, Ryan Newman 8th, Michael McDowell 9th, and AJ Allmendinger finished 10th. I do want to give another round of applause to these two teams. The 51 of Justin Marks for Rickler Racing, I'll just give them a clap. And then the 92 team of David Gillen, the first race for Robbie Benton Racing, they finished 14th. All right, so that does it for that. All right, moving on. Let's get to the Xfinity Series race, and we'll talk about that. Let me just load it up here. Jayski. No, we're already done clapping, fam. All right. I got it right here. So let's talk about the Xfinity race. I wasn't able to watch a boatload of it. I can talk about the finish, though. But, Michael, you saw the race, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a wreck fest.
Would you like to give your perspective on it, sir? Like, can you go through the recap, what we had?
I wouldn't even say it was a wreck fest.
Yeah.
Just until the very end, it was a wreck fest.
Yeah.
Because we set 2 records. We had 5 overtimes at the end of the race, as well as the big one with 10 to go. And then the closest finish in NASCAR history didn't even register on the computer.
Oh my God.
I think the official margin of victory. What?
4 10,000ths of a second. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was the official margin of victory.
Have you ever?
No, I never.
No, I have never.
And
Not
beat
yet.
the Darlington finish in the 1995 Truck Series race in Colorado.
Yes.
Beat all that.
We had a bunch of wrecks, so let's talk about them. On lap 10, wreck involving Austin Cindric, Ryan Reed. The 19, that's Brandon Jones, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
just like that. Daniel Suarez, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, the 90, who was in that? Josh Williams,
Yeah.
and the 86 of Brandon Brown. Lap 30, stage 1 concluded then. Here was the top 10. It was Kyle Larson, not John Hernimachek. Followed by, I believe it was Joey Logano in second, Justin Allgaier third, Tyler Reddick fourth, Elliott Sadler fifth, Daniel Hemrick sixth, Michael Burnett seventh, Daniel Suarez eighth, Spencer Gallagher ninth, and Cole Custer is 10th. And then no cautions until stage 2 concluded. Here's the top 10 for that. In first position was the 88 of Chase Elliott. It was followed by Eric Almirola in second. Kyle Larson third, Daniel Suarez fourth, Spencer Gallagher fifth, Ryan Truex sixth. Seventh was the 3 that was it?
Austin Dillon.
It was Austin Dillon. All right.
Yeah, in the
8th
3.
is Tyler Reddick. 9th, Daniel Hemrick, and 10th is Justin Allgaier. And then it all broke loose from there. Oh, man, oh, man. Lap 99, a wreck involving Daniel Hemrick. Trying to see who the 38 is. Jeff Green. The 76 is Spencer Boyd. The 35, Joey Gase. Ryan Truex, Cole Custer, Ryan Reed, and Michael Burnett in turns 3 and 4. Lap 106, another wreck happened involving Truex, Annette, and the 01, which is, I believe, Vinnie Miller. And that is. Lap 111, another wreck that's involved Williams and Miller. Lap 118, Elliott Sattler spun on the backstretch, and then we went into overtime. The first attempt at overtime, we had a huge wreck on the backstretch. Here's who it involved. It involved the leaders. Get your pen and paper out. Here's the list. Kyle Larson, Matt Teft, Joey Logano, the 51. Who is that?
Jeremy Clements.
Clements.
Jeremy Clements, that's right. Eric Almirola, Cole. And he's in the 28, right?
Who's that?
Dylan Lupton in the 28, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Brown, Daniel Suarez, Justin Allgaier, Matt Teft, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Joe Nemechek, David Starr, Jeff Green, Tyler Reddick, and Cesar Beccarella. That's 18 cars involved in that wreck, nearly half the field. Second attempt at overtime, Spencer Gallagher spun on the backstretch. That's lap 130. Lap 133, before Tyler Reddick, who was leading, crossed the start-finish line, a wreck happened involving Kyle Larson and Ryan Ellis. That led to the caution coming out. Reddick did not cross the line. The fourth attempt involved Dylan Lupton on the backstretch. We had a red flag for about 5.5 minutes, and then we had probably the best finish in Xfinity Series history, the closest and the 100th race that Xfinity has sponsored. Tyler Reddick by 4/10,000ths of a second. Have you ever?
Not yet.
Pretty sure I texted you and said, wow, you need to see that.
I did see that. I watched that
that
live
was
in the Snowcross trailer where I was there.
You know,
All right.
another thing I want to mention about the Xfinity race on Saturday. That's the best Xfinity race I've ever seen. The racing was absolutely fantastic. You saw the drivers being able to work the top lane, the bottom lane, and usually they're just riding on that double yellow line, not moving from it. But they were racing 3 wide for most of the race. All the lanes were working. The Cup guys were putting on a heck of a show. So were the Xfinity guys too. But I'll be a devil's advocate and say that I don't think the Xfinity guys could have put on half the show that the Cup guys did.
Yeah.
But they have a good package for the Xfinity series. They'll probably change it in 2 years, and then the package will be really boring. But I really like this package that they have.
All right. Top 10. Tyler Reddick winning. Elliott Sattler second. Ryan Reed got third. Kaz Grella fourth in his Xfinity debut. We'll give him a round of applause for that one, because why not?
Hey, you did better than Austin Cindric in his debut.
Yeah.
Yay.
Garrett Smithley fifth. Spencer Gallagher sixth. Ryan Truex seventh. Daniel Suarez eighth. Ross Chastain ninth. And Brandon Jones is 10th. All right, now we'll get to the truck race. We're almost got a quarter through the show. Hi, Steve and Noah. Steve, there's no password to Fantasy Live. Sorry, I didn't read your thing. I was looking at my
Hi,
recap.
Papa Marty. That's what it says.
I don't know. Okay. Last race, Daytona. Where's the results? Okay. All right, so let's get on to the Truck Series race. The stage one, when that concluded, here was the top 10. David Gillen won it. Johnny Sauter got second. Dolan Sargent got third. Clay Greenfield fourth. Grant Enfinger fifth. John Nemechek sixth. Myatt Snyder seventh. Matt Crafton 8th, Noah Gregson 9th, and Cody Coughlin 10th. And then stage 2 concluded later on. The top 10 for that was Sauter winning that, then Stuart Friesen 2nd, Gilliland 3rd, Coughlin 4th, Crafton 5th, Justin Haley 6th, Parker Kligerman 7th. Excuse me. Corbin Forrester 8th. John Nemechek 9th. And Spencer Davis 10th. Then here's where it all got real. Lap 55, we had a wreck involving Coughlin, Sargent, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Enfinger, the 20 of Scott Legacy Jr., Kligerman and Gregson in turn 4, lap 64. We had another accident. That involved it was Gregson, Bolomastis, and Kligerman. Lap 73, we had another big wreck. This one took out a bunch of decent cars. Had John Nemechek when he blew a tire, involving Brett Moffitt, Matt Snyder, Stuart Friesen, Spencer Davis, and Austin Hill. Lap 82, we had another wreck happen on the restart. This one had Clay Greenfield, as well as Brian Dalzat, Matt Crafton, Austin Hill, and Corbin Forrester. And then the end of the race, there was not my favorite finish. But Johnny Sauter got the win. Here's how your top 10 looked. Sauter with the win. Justin Haley 2nd. Joe Nemechek 3rd. Ben Rhodes 4th. Scott Legacy 5th. Grant Enfield 6th. Spencer Davis 7th. Dalton Sargent 8th. Jordan Anderson got 9th. How can you not love Jordan Anderson? He got 9th in his own truck. Good for you, Jordan. He even led a lap today in that race.
Yeah. Now, I know someone that hates Jordan Anderson now just because of his truck number. You know what it is?
Justin Fontaine is 10th. Yeah, it's number 3.
Yeah, the 3. And it's in a Yoder.
Who
So
cares?
what? Who
Oh, well.
cares? It's Jordan Anderson.
Oh, well, it's going to be in a Chevy
By the
next.
way,
You know,
Dale Earnhardt Sr. does not own the number.
Yeah,
another
exactly.
thing, he wrecked coming to the line and he kept it off the wall. So he
Good ride. Good job, Jordan.
saved a lot of money there too.
That's right. All right, we're 17 minutes past the top of the hour. It's no password, dude. If there's a password, just type NOFSRO in all caps. All right, anyway, let's get on to the headlines here. The first one I got is the driver of the Double Zero in the Xfinity Series, Cole Custer, will be making his Monster Cup debut at Las Vegas next week. He'll pilot the number 51 Ford for Rick Ware Racing. The announcement is expected later this week. Cole Custer wins his Cup debut. Just kidding.
No, he's not going to win in Rick Ware equipment.
Oh, heck no.
Besides the win for Austin Dillon, the first win, a Daytona 500 win for the 3 in 20 years, when Dale Earnhardt won it 20 years ago. And by the way, that race was 17 years to the death of Dale Earnhardt. It was also the final NASCAR race of Danica Patrick.
Well, yeah, what a career she had.
Yeah. I'm just hearing crickets, so we'll move on from that one.
Okay. The ratings did come out, by the way, for that race, and the ratings went down from last year. Probably because
23%.
Probably because of the Olympics.
Had nothing to do with the Olympics.
It probably did.
No Junior, no Kenseth, no Stewart, no Gordon, no Edwards.
But there were the Olympics on.
Well, I mean, the Olympics weren't. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
We can do. We can. You probably have that as a discussion time question, but we can keep blaming other sporting events, but eventually we're going to do something about this.
Anyway, let's talk about Denny Hamlin, because on a podcast Friday, he said that 70% of drivers use Adderall or similar medicines to help them focus. He was on Barstool Sports when the topic moved to drug testing. He was asked if he gets drug testing, he said all the time. He was then asked if a significant number of drivers take Adderall or other such stimulants to focus. I say yes. And then Hamlin said 70%. NASCAR didn't like that. Hamlin met with officials for about 5 minutes Friday afternoon. No disciplinary measures will be made by that. But yeah, Adderall is a banned substance. If you guys don't remember, AJ Allmendinger was suspended indefinitely by NASCAR in 2012 for testing positive for the drug Adderall, which is, I believe, it's a methamphetamine or an amphetamine. I'm not too sure.
I think it's amphetamine.
Yeah. Anyway.
Definitely not meth. Mark.
Oh, sorry.
Not meth.
Okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, BK Racing has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. However, though, they will still be trying to compete full-time in the Cup Series.
Let's see, Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Xfinity Series. Garrett Smithley and Matt Mills will be swapping numbers for a few races this season. The next 2 weeks, for the next 2 weeks of the season, Garrett Smithley will not be driving the number 9 Chevrolet. He'll drive the number 15. Matt Mills will drive the number 0. Let's see, what else do we got? Kyle Benjamin will run 2 Xfinity races for Joe Gibbs this season. He'll drive next week at Atlanta and also in the U.S. Cellular 250 at Iowa. So wait a second. If he's spawning the number 18, this means we will not see Kyle Busch in the Xfinity Series next week.
Yay.
Yeah.
But he's in the truck race.
There's only 3 leeches this weekend. It's actually a good sign.
Kyle Busch is in the
Remember,
truck race.
they're only allowed to run 5 races, so you have to choose wisely in what 5 races you're going to run.
Yes, absolutely.
But that's only for people with like 5 years experience, right?
Trust me, Kyle Busch is well over that.
I know.
Well,
Oh, I thought it was more than 5 years.
So
I was
that means
counting on Kyle Larson being limited.
So that means guys like Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez can run as many as they like, pretty much.
Yes.
Yep. Like Kyle Larson, I think is in his 4th or 5th year.
This is his 4th
I'm
full-time.
not too sure.
Well,
No,
4th
it's fifth.
full-time.
I think he was
it's 5th.
rookie of the year before Chase Elliott was. Chase Elliott's in
Rookie
his
season was
3rd year.
2014. That was his first year. And then second year was 2015. Third was 2016. Fourth was 2017.
2017.
2018 is his 5th year.
Yeah, this
So,
is his
yes,
5th full-time
And they
year.
need someone in the 42. That's why they have John Hunter Nemechek in this week.
All right,
Yeah,
guys. We're going to move on from that stuff. We're going to move on to our discussion questions. Once again, if you would like to be a part of the show, call in. Just send me a message on Google Hangouts. And I will get you in on a specific question you'd like to ask. So the first question is pretty simple. I'll ask this every single week on Tuesday. What was your biggest takeaway from the weekend overall? It can be either Cup, Xfinity, or Truck. What's your biggest takeaway? Your one biggest takeaway from this weekend? We're going to go with you first, Jake, because it's your first time here in a while.
It is my first time here in a while.
Sorry,
let's see. Biggest takeaway. Now, most people would think the Cup finish, obviously, for obvious reasons. For me, the biggest takeaway, the truck race was pretty much underwhelming from, I'd say, halfway to the finish. So I guess that would be my takeaway. Just that second half of the truck race.
Okay. Michael.
So I'm not going to go to the Cup race because we knocked out half the cars before we got to the halfway point. So there really wasn't anything to take away because we really didn't get to see what anyone had. So I'm going to go to the Xfinity Series. And it's going to go back to what I said last week. We were talking about who we thought who could be contenders for the championship this year. And I mentioned Tyler Reddick. And I think he just proved my point by winning that race on Saturday. He's going to be a threat this year. He's already in the chase. Doesn't have to worry about that. Something just fell over. It completely took away my focus. But yeah, Tyler Reddick, he's going to be a championship contender. And the two other plate races that we have for the Xfinity Series this year, they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to them.
All right. Kelvin.
Well, you have to go back to the Xfinity Series because you expect the Monster Energy Cup drivers to be able to do what they did on
Hi, Calvin.
hello, what they did on Sunday. They were able to maneuver around back and forth Sunday. I mean, they weren't the brightest at times in the Monster Series with blocking and whatnot way too early in the race. So Xfinity, you got to go back and look at what Joey Logano was able to do starting in dead last after replacing some part. I believe it was a fuel pump. They ended up changing after practice, the final practice, and he was able to teach some of the young guns just how to maneuver through traffic from the back of the pack with just your race car with no help behind you. He jumped in and out. He went from last to like fifth in like 3.5 laps, which is crazy to see you do by yourself at Daytona.
All right, Cody.
My biggest takeaway out of this would probably be how intense the racing in general was. Like, you had aggressive drivers like left and right, like battling nearly every lap like it was the last lap. That definitely brought up the entertainment, and I think NASCAR did a much better job in trying to keep up the entertainment at Daytona. I'm looking forward to see how entertaining they will get going throughout the rest of the season.
Oh, okay. Justin?
Biggest takeaway, probably the final overtimes in Xfinity Series race. I mean, look how long that was. So boring until the finish, which that basically saved the end of the race. So, but yeah, all the overtimes is just so annoying. That's my biggest takeaway.
All right. I'd say my biggest takeaway of the weekend's the Xfinity Series race. We had the closest finish in NASCAR history, and it was way smaller than 2 1,000ths of a second. We had to go to the 10,000s, and it was 4 10,000ths of a second. My goodness, that's got to be a tie, man. I'll tell you. But timing's got it. Photo, video evidence got it. Tyler Reddick was the winner. That was perfect. But anyway, let's get to the next question. I wanted to talk about Austin Dillon. This has been mixed conversations, mixed debate all week long ever since we saw the finish. Do you like the move Austin Dillon made, or do you not like the move?
I liked it.
My mom said she liked the move. Michael, what do you think?
Okay, so originally when I saw it at the track, I did not like it at all. I thought he dumped him on purpose. But reading comments about it and thinking and reflecting on it a little bit more, I am okay with what Austin Dillon did because it's the Daytona 500. You're entering turn 3, coming to the checker flag. You're not going to lift. No one's going to lift. I mean, you want to get that trophy. You got to think. I'm okay with what he did. Unfortunate for Eric Almirola, but like I said, you're not going to lift when you have the Daytona 500 on the line.
Mm-hmm. Kelvin?
Well, Marty, you know my views on this because I've been saying the same thing for the last 2 days.
Yep.
Did not like it one bit.
All right.
You did not let Brad Keselowski off the hook at Talladega when he got his first win when he dumped Carl Edwards. You cannot let Austin Dillon off the hook when he dumped Eric Almirola at the front when he had just as much time as Brad Keselowski did to try and make a much cleaner move on the field to get around Eric Almirola. Granted, I know they're two different style race cars now than they were back when Brad Keselowski did it, but Austin Dillon could have easily fallen back to Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin would have gave him a push to get around, and it would have been a 3-wide battle at the finish, determining who wins the 500. And yes, I understand the point. You're not going to lift because it's the Daytona 500 in the final lap, but I just think that you could have done it a lot cleaner. And I still think I thought you had a condom in your hand, Marty.
No.
Whoa, all right.
I
was like,
have that.
Doing?
Ooh,
Can you explain?
ooh, I like this turn that
Piece of
Motorsports
chocolate,
360
dilly
just took.
dilly.
I was like,
I like this turn. Okay, here we go.
Look.
Chocolate.
You have my attention.
so
Okay.
oh,
Continue.
that's just my phone. But so if we couldn't let Brad Keselowski off the hook, I don't think we should be letting Austin Dillon off the hook that quick. Because we didn't for Brad Keselowski at the beginning, so I'm not going to let him off the hook this time, just because it's the Daytona 500, especially when he's just starting to hit him in turn 3.
Right.
You know that you could get around. He could have got around him because he would have got help guaranteed. Because even if Denny Hamlin didn't do it, there's a guy behind Denny Hamlin who I believe was a Chevy driver that would have went out and helped Austin Dillon try and get around Eric Almirola in a Ford.
Yeah.
All right, Jake. Jake.
Okay, sorry about that. No, of course. I'm not really mixed on this like most people. To me, it didn't seem like Austin Dillon's fault to begin with. It seemed like a bit of both. Eric Almirola kind of thought he had room to block, but didn't. But Austin kind of made sure that didn't happen. But it kind of went wrong for Eric Almirola, of course. Yeah, that's nice, Michael. So anyways, yeah, I don't think really none of them was really at fault, but yeah, I know, Mike.
Michael,
Anyway,
can you explain what you're doing here?
I'm sorry. I just saw this meme on Reddit. It's fantastic. Go ahead, Jake.
anyway, I don't think it's either or's fault. I think it's pretty much kind of both of their faults, really. But I mean, of course, I feel like Eric Almirola will have another chance.
Jake, I'm
What?
sorry to interrupt, but I have some breaking news coming in from
Oh.
David Land. Bump Day is going to be returning to the Indy 500 this season. It looks like there's a rumor that we will have 36 cars entered for the 102nd spectacular race.
And we have 36 cars entered for Atlanta, so you know.
They're all chartered.
Really?
So
At least all those can race, and not those in the Indy 500.
Dilly, somebody help us.
Somebody called Danica. She might want to run again.
Yes.
anyways,
no.
Can I continue?
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, both of them I seem like were at fault there, but yeah, and I think this kind of like hatred Austin has right now, I think it will pretty much die down within like 6 months, just like Denny Hamlin.
Okay, let's go to Cody. Cowday? Oh, he's probably getting inspected. All right, let's go to you, Justin.
Hey!
The move.
Oh, Cody's back.
Okay, so so about that bump or per se bump at the final lap, honestly, I almost thought had to be like some move that had to be made, and especially for going for a race win like this, like the Daytona 500, it is significant to your career and significant to like the car number and the legacy and all of that. And especially realizing that the three winning 20 years ago, Dale Earnhardt won his first Daytona 500. And then the three wins again 20 years later with Austin Dillon. Now, back to where I was back in turn 3, as I was showing like some context to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, between to what I saw, I honestly thought that, yeah, Dylan could have tried the outside lane or something, but Almirola was just blocking him, to be honest. And Dylan was trying every last thing he could do to get him loose and throw him off the draft, like other drivers been doing for the final laps of the 500. So I kind of think this is one of these kind of moves where they try to intend to make the driver loose, but instead of having them loose, they accidentally wreck him in the final lap of the race. So I kind of think that Austin Dillon unintentionally wrecked Almirola. It wasn't intentional because I know he tried to get him loose, but I know Almirola in the inside of him, he's probably not happy about this at all. So yeah, I'm gonna say it was just aggressive racing.
Okay. All right, Justin.
I mean, yes, Almirola did go up the block. I mean, of course, I mean, it's the 500. It's not like anyone's going to lift, though. I just don't know why people complain about Austin Dillon wrecking someone to win the race. I mean, let me all tell you something. Dale Earnhardt Sr. would have done the same exact thing. Guarantee you, 100%.
That's exactly what my dad said after the race. Dale Earnhardt would have done the exact same thing.
Exactly. Just look at Bristol when he wrecked Terry Labonte to win. Labonte.
I mean, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said in interviews he intentionally wrecked people just so he could get on pit road easier.
Look at this meme I just found.
But of course, it was different back then. Everyone wanted people to wreck each other for the win. That's how it was back then. Now today, everyone's going to complain and rage.
You know, it's interesting because I heard you guys bring up moments like Brad Keselowski and Carl Edwards at Talladega. I also saw this morning on Reddit Tony Stewart and Kyle Busch at Daytona in 2009, I believe it was.
I just remembered that one now, yeah.
Yeah. The common theme with both of those wrecks is that the driver who was going for the lead had the position on the driver they were trying to pass, and both drivers took the nose off of the second place car. And if that was the case with Austin Dillon, it's just amazing how much of a different story this would have been. Just kind of something that I thought about listening to you guys.
Okay. All right, let's give you guys my take on this. So Kelvin heard about this. I talked about this with Moody today on Speedway. I gave my take on the final lap of the race. I have no problem with what Austin Dillon did to Eric Almirola, because the reason why is because on the Daytona 500, if it's the final lap, you will not go off that gas. You will do whatever it takes to win the Daytona 500. Even if you have to make a bump, you'll do that. And a bump is a rub in Son Robbins Racing. For Eric Almirola, he even admitted he tried to block Austin Dillon. Eric said he was wherever Austin was going to go, wherever the faster car was going to go, that's where he was going to go to try and slow down that momentum. Fortunately, it did not pay off for him. I have no problem with Austin did, and I'm happy that he won. Good for him.
Yeah. If Austin Dillon doesn't lift, you got to think, does he get another run in time before they get to the start-finish line or before they get off turn 4? Because if he doesn't, he loses the race.
That's right.
So I don't really think he had a choice.
More than likely, no. He wouldn't have another shot at winning that year.
He would have shot Almirola so far out in front that there was no way he would have been able to get another run because they were still double wide behind him.
Yep. That's right. All right, let's get to the next question here. Let's talk about the Bubba Wallace-Denny Hamlin controversy that happened in the battle for second. Arguing between who did what. They even had a little confrontation after the race. So what's your take on it, basically? Kelvin, you're first.
What was the question? I'm sorry, I got distracted.
What was your take on the Bubba Wallace-Denny Hamlin incident?
It's a bunch of nothing. It's just Denny's like Kyle Busch right now. He's not ready to give in to the Young Gun jet, and now that the Young Gun youth movement pretty much took full-fledged force right there at the end of that race, he's just not happy with it.
That's right. Denny Hamlin's got to be quiet from time to time. Let's go to Jake.
It's pretty much what Kelvin said. He's pretty much trying to be like Kyle Busch, and of course Kyle Busch isn't the one that started the whole trying to bring down the youth movement like that, even outside of NASCAR. But yeah,
All right. Cody. Cody. All right, Justin.
Hey, stop me out,
Every time.
Jeez.
Cody,
What was the
stop
question
doing this
again?
to us.
What was the question?
Oh my gosh. What's your take on the Bubba Wallace Denny Hamlin confrontation?
Oh, what the? I didn't know those two confronted.
Yep, they had a little talk after the race.
You should look at Denny Hamlin's
What?
Twitter.
I do not know what was
Oh, yeah,
going
that
on
reminds me.
between those two. I
I
honestly
will skip
don't
you
think there's
then.
anything controversial.
I will skip
I would
you
have
then.
to watch it.
All right. Justin.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, honestly. I mean,
Justin?
honestly, Denny Hamlin. I know he's made mistakes before, but at least man up to your mistakes. At least admit it was your fault. I don't know why he doesn't do that. You don't get it.
Okay. All right. So all right. So now to me. They're just racing for second spot. I don't think they should have had a fight. They were battling it out. For second, they got into the wall at the end, just like what Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch did at the end of their race. That was just hard racing for second spot. I don't get why they'd be mad. Is it something related to Hamlin's Adderall? I'm not too sure. All right, let's go to you, Michael.
All right. Well, I have a whole big presentation for this.
Oh gosh, here we go. I'm just gonna shut
Yeah.
up. Hang on,
Yeah.
hang on.
I'm
Here's what I'm gonna
sorry.
do.
I
Wait,
know. I know.
wait. Here's what I'm gonna do. Present to everyone. Here's Michael Kelly, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So, first, I want to start with the Adderall comments made by Denny Hamlin. What are you thinking, dude? What would you know the effects that's gonna have on NASCAR? It's just gonna help the argument for people who don't think it's a sport. Say like, oh, they have to take drugs because they can't handle the intensity and the mentality and the physicality you have to drive these race cars. They have to take these drugs because they can't handle it. That's not true at all. Why would you joke about that? That's not something you should joke about. So Bo Wallace had every right to make the comment that he did, concerning the Adderall thing. So let's start with a replay. This is from Denny Hamlin's onboard. I slowed it down. This is from onboards and other stuff 77 from YouTube. Got to give him credit, of course. This is Denny Hamlin's onboard. I slowed it down, and you're going to see what happens. Bubba Wallace is going to come down. He's going to hit Hamlin once. You're going to see Hamlin come up the track, and that's because he got loose. Well, I'm going to show you another video of that angle in just a second. And then he's going to hit him one more time, and you're going to see the right corner of his hood over here flip up, and the tire is going to blow, which is going to send them up the track. If it'll start. So you see, there's the first contact right there. Hamlin gets loose. He's coming up the track. And then do you see that right there? The tire blew. There's the smoke. They go into the wall. They wreck. All right. I have a new keypad mouse that's not really responding very well right now.
Is that it?
So just bear with me. All right. So here is the view from on top of the tower at the racetrack. This is slowed down too. Where's my mouse? There it is. You're going to see Hamlin get loose. There's the contact. Hamlin's on the yellow line. See right there? He got sideways, came up the track. They made contact again. Tire blows. They go into the wall. So, in conclusion, it was not Denny Hamlin's fault. I don't think Bubba had any right to say anything because he didn't get the full story yet. And it's partly Fox's fault too. for not showing the onboard camera of Denny Hamlin. Fox did a terrible job with their replays and camera views this weekend. I don't know what was up with them. But I think Bubba and Denny were texting today and yesterday about the incident. Denny was telling Bubba that you need to watch my onboard. You'll see that the tire blew, and I don't know if Bubba has watched it yet, but I think Bubba needs to, maybe he doesn't need to apologize, but just they need to sort this out before it escalates too much.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can clearly see that Denny's tire did blow.
All right, let's get to the next question here. It's gonna be related to the blocking we saw in the Daytona 500. I gotta stop presentations. Oops. Oh crap! Hang on. Show participants. Hang on. Stop presenting. Okay, so should NASCAR do something related to blocking on restrictor plates based on how aggressive the racing was on Sunday? Jake, you're first again.
No, absolutely not. Because the last thing we want is another rule change in NASCAR, especially one that is pretty much unnecessary and doesn't make the racing any better, pretty much.
Okay. Cody.
I am so sorry. What was the question again?
Should NASCAR do something related to blocking on restrictor plates?
Blocking on restrictor plates. It does depend on the situation on that one. I know we've seen so many aggressive blocks when it comes to speedway racing, but that's how we make it fun. It's like, yeah, it's like maybe we can restrict like maybe something minor about blocking. For example, like say like if you're a lap traffic, you're not allowed to block the lead guys whatsoever, and they've been doing a pretty good job with that. That would be like a kind of extent that would put in terms of blocking people and the restrictor plate races, because most of them are pretty clean unless you want to fight for a stage one. So maybe something around there so not many cars would be wrecked, unless if it's like the last 5 to 10 laps. So maybe not. So I feel neutral about this.
Okay. Justin?
Blocking is blocking. That's how it goes. You fight for a win, block as hard as you can. Doesn't matter how aggressive it is. If you want to win, you got to earn it. And blocking is earning it. There you go. And aggressive racing.
All right. Here's what I think about the blocking situation. I don't think this should be changed. Any car has a rule where if you block someone, you will be black flagged. IndyCar is much different than NASCAR because with IndyCars, if a block happens, we could see someone go upside down, and those cars can get upside down easily. NASCAR, it's different. You got rear bumpers, and bumping's racing. You know what I'm saying? Rubbing's racing. That's what I think. Don't change anything related to blocking. Michael?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything you can really do to kind of stop them from blocking. I mean, just blocking's a part of it. If you take away blocking, then I guess you're gonna have more moves. But just we saw this weekend, they didn't even have to block for these cars to get loose. They didn't have to touch each other. Just the air from the cars. We saw it in the duels in our live reactions. Just in the duels, the car just got sideways when Stenhouse would make that move on them and get on their left rear quarter panel. But I think the last thing we need is more rule changes and more changes to the cars and more changes to the aero packages. We need to get a set ground on something. We need to be able to get new fans that come in. They need to be able to adapt. You can't keep changing the rules all the time. You can't keep making all these gimmicks. That's why the ratings are down 23%. That's what people are saying, that they're not going to watch it anymore because they keep creating all these gimmicks. They keep changing the rules. It's too hard to follow. We need to find a set ground of rules, and we need to follow them for a good 10, 15 years before we make any significant changes.
Okay. And now we go to Kelvin.
Piggybacking off what a few people have said, you can't really change the blocking mentality of a driver. So if you're going to enforce a rule, if you're going to make a rule to enforce it, it's another rule to an already complicated rule book for the non-traditional fan to have to follow and be like, oh, he's being black flagged because he's blocking. Isn't that part of racing, is to try and stay in front of somebody who might be a little bit faster than you? And the only way you can really fix it is crew chiefs tell your drivers, hey, we're only in stage 2 with 18 to go, Brad. You might not want to go out and try and make a pass from like 5th place. You're not going for the lead and wrecking half the field on lap 102. You still have 15 laps in stage 2. You were I get it if Brad was racing for the lead at the time, but he wasn't. Why is he in aggressive mode? Why was Stenhouse blocking him that hard?
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the field is 3 wide behind you. Could you not block Blaney when you're in 2nd place and then pile out the rest of the field behind you? Could you not do that when you still have a Daytona 500 trophy on the line for the rest of the guys behind you, including yourself? I mean, it'd be much appreciated. I'm just saying.
You got to put it on the driver. It's not that they're blocking aggressively. It's they're blocking aggressively with 100 laps to go. Why are you blocking so aggressive with that much time to go? I mean, I get you want to stay up front because if you fall back to anywhere between 8th and 30th place in Daytona or Talladega, your odds of being involved in the big one are pretty high. I get that. But at the same time, with 100 laps to go, you don't need to be blocking so hard. It's the only time you really hear about it is at Talladega or Daytona. You don't change the rule just because you go to those tracks 4 times a year. So the only way to fix it is crew chiefs have to keep reminding your drivers, hey, you're blocking a little bit too hard, or the spotter, hey, you're blocking really hard. We still have 18 laps to go in stage 2, and we still have 100 laps to go in the race. Why are you blocking so hard? Stop being stupid.
Like Darrell Waltrip said, big picture.
It's one of the smartest things he said all weekend, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get stage points are important, but good Lord, Daytona 500 trophy can define your career.
All right. So
Well,
we're gonna do one more question here, and then we'll get to come on, man. I just want a yes or no answer. With Austin Dillon's win, is this the beginning of a dominating season by the Young Guns? One word, yes or no. Cody, you're up first.
Is there a maybe?
Yes.
Can I say maybe?
Okay. Justin.
I guess. I mean, the veterans are going to still, fight for wins as well. And there's probably going to be, Hamlin winning, Busch winning. So it's not all about the young guns. So I would say 50-50.
Okay. I say yes. This is the year of the Young Guns, especially for Chase Elliott. Michael.
I don't know how to say this in just a one-word answer. I can't give one-word answers. Oh no. Yes, maybe, possibly, but I don't really know because it's just one race in. Maybe, sure, yes. I guess.
Okay. Kelvin.
Yes, only because NASCAR needs it.
Jake.
Yeah, because I don't see Jimmy Johnson or Kevin Harvick having that many wins this season.
Excuse you.
Oh.
Okay, maybe one.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
Some guy on the radio show today said that Jimmy Johnson wasn't going to make the playoffs this year. So.
Wow.
What the heck?
All right. We have 3 discussion time questions left, but we'll save those for Thursday's show. But let's get on to a little bit of the epic fails of the weekend. Come on, man. All right, boys, I got one for you. First things first, I gotta call you out, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I get you're trying to protect your position on the final lap for stage 1, but you're blocking in stage 1. Why are you not doing that in stage number 3? Oh, wait, that's right. You wrecked. But Stenhouse, you're blocking way too early. And what did that blocking lead you to? Oh, my gosh, a close call. Thank goodness you saved it. But what happened with the other drivers? Oh, they checked up and they caused a big wreck. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., what are you doing trying to block Ryan Blaney in stage one? Ricky Stenhouse Jr., come on, man.
Well, it's the last time I can pick on Danica Patrick. You know what? She entered her first race in the 2012 Daytona 500. You know how she finished? She finished by wrecking on lap number 2. Well, you know what? She finished her NASCAR career just how 90% of NASCAR fans predicted it would happen. She ended it by wrecking in turn number 3. Danica Patrick, do I even have to say, come on, man? I mean, I think we expect it from you at this point. But you
Just
know
say,
what?
come on,
That's a
woman.
segment we're doing. I'm going to say it
We need the
anyway.
equality.
Come on, girl.
All right, I got another one. John Hunter Nemechek, I'm calling you out once again. You want to know why? You said you felt a vibration, and you thought it was your tire. How come after you reported that, how come you didn't bring it to pit road immediately? You waited like 4 stinking laps, and then you wrecked your car because of the blown tire. And not only did you wreck that car, you wrecked like 5 other cars in the field. Good cars to be exact, including my boy Stuart Friesen. John Hunter Nemechek, if you have a vibration like that, pull it in the pit road. Don't be trying to race for the win. Come on, man.
I got one.
All right.
Let's go back to the Xfinity Series race. Early on in the race, Austin Cindric is loose no matter where he puts his race car out on the racetrack. What does he end up doing? Gets caught in the middle and wrecks. Gets to the interview out of the infield care center, and they play his onboard camera and audio. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I possibly could have done. You know what you do when you're loose and there's nothing you can do about it? You fall to the back instead of staying in the middle of the pack and causing a big one that early in the Xfinity Series race. That's what you do. Come on, man.
Oh, I think I have one. I think.
Take it, Cody. Take it.
Okay, so at the end of stage 2, we all know it's a good battle for the stage 1. We got Elliott and Keselowski, and we all know Brand's like the king of the plate tracks now since Junior retired. What does he do right after his first impression as the king? Well, his second impression did not end so well. Not only he makes a huge block and then Elliott just screws it over, and then also, and this especially goes for his crew, when the damage I see is just the right side, nothing internal, nothing leaking, like anything. And what do? They park the stinking car. Like, really? Did you seriously don't have any tape or anything? It's like, I just gotta say it. Come on, men.
All right, I got one more for you.
All right.
I got one
I'm
more.
after Marty.
Oh, Jake, no, take it. Jake, this is you, man.
Okay, this goes to Corey LaJoie and TriStar Motorsports. Not 10 laps in, you blow an engine. I mean, come on, man.
Okay. All right, I'm up now. All right, so Adam Alexander, I'm gonna call you out a little bit. This is not a big thing. I'm gonna call you out though because on the final lap, you said that you thought that Sadler had the win. How come you couldn't be like that guy named Rick Allen like he did in the 2014 truck race before he said he won and say side by side at the line? It's gonna go to Tyler Reddick. You said Elliott Sadler, and then Brad Keselowski and Michael Waltrip say, it's Reddick.
Said Boyer when Stewart won that Xfinity race.
Justin, let me finish.
Okay.
It's true.
Sorry. Let me finish though, fam. Adam Alexander, you kind of pulled a Marty Reed there. What are you doing? Come on, man.
At least you didn't mention him. Good for you.
All right. Anyone else got anything?
And
Fox,
not really.
you missed an accident in the truck race. You showed a guy who was scraping the wall. He was just scraping the wall. That's all he was doing. You missed a 3 or 4 truck accident off of turn 4. What are you doing, guys? What's up with all the commercial breaks that you took during the Daytona 500 on Sunday? Not that I care because I was at the race.
Hold on, guys.
You got other people that are watching the race at home on TV. They want to see what's going on. You missed a round of pit stops. You missed a couple wrecks. Fox, what are you guys doing? You got to get your act together. Come on, man.
All right, we're gonna call it there for an episode of Motorsports
man.
360. Another good one for you today. We will be back Thursday at 8 o'clock to preview. We'll do the rest of the discussion time questions, and as well, we're gonna preview this weekend's races. We are going to Atlanta Motor Speedway, doubleheader Saturday for Truck and Xfinity, and the Cup race on Sunday. So for the crew, for Justin, for Cody, for Jake, for Kelvin, and for Michael, I'm already saying so long. You've been watching Motorsports 360. Say bye, everyone.
All right, goodbye.
Bye.
Adios.
1, 2, 3, and a dodge.
And a dodge.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.